All right, how's everyone doing? Today we're going to take a look at a batch of BU rolls I picked up at a prominent Northern California antique store. Now the antique store is more of a deal, where they have a bunch of dealers on hand, and they are busy during the weekends. But I was actually able to obtain, let's see, 15 rolls of 1968 Lincoln Memorial cents, not wheat cents, and we are going to attempt to find a few things. Either a really nice error, which you never know. We could pull one out and it'd have a nice die clash. Perhaps some prominent die cracks or die breaks. Ultimately, what we're looking for is an extremely high-grade example, or a number of them, that we could then therefore send off to grading. These are all 68S, so you're not going to see any other dates. The cool thing is there's not really much in the way of varieties. Repunched Mintmarks and double dies are pretty much non-existent, and the very few that do exist are pretty minor and aren't worth a whole lot. So therefore we could kind of isolate what we're looking for super high grades and errors, if there's any. So anything from any one of those two would suit just fine. So just to recap that, now I'm going to recite actual price quotes off of the PCGS price guide for the various top tier grades. And I'm just going to go and start from Mint State 67. PCGS has a price point of $325 for just a 67 red. And these are all red, by the way. No red brown, no brown coins. 67 plus, they have a quote of $3,550, $3,550. And of course, we're going to be aiming for a Mint State 68. That's the best of the best. The coin will look virtually spotless and nick-free. $7,400. Now, in retrospect, these are just price guide numbers. They're not actually going to sell for that amount of money. It could be less, could be more. It really depends on the market and how saturated it is. So, let's see if I could, I might have to take one glove off because I need to do the focus on this camera. I'm going to attempt to upload this as an HD, by the way. There we go. So for reference, we're going to be looking at a couple of 61D Lincoln Memorial cents. And I'm again as close as I can using the light to show off the features and details. Let me see if I can turn this light around so that way we don't get too much of a glare. I'm having a little bit of issue. But as you can see on this Mint State 65 example, it's not as lustrous. And as I spin the coin like this, you're going to see some marks in the fields, which automatically disqualifies it from a higher grade, typically. And you'll see a few nicks at the truncation of Lincoln's bust, right there. So it's easier to identify as I spin the coin around like so. All right, the reverse, you're going to have a lot of the nicks underneath Lincoln Memorial, or just plain bag marks. And if you have any disruption whatsoever in the steps and the columns area of the memorial, that'll keep it as 65. So here's a 66. And again, I'm sorry guys for going, for not just jumping in, but I want to let everybody know what it takes to get to that level. Now take a look at this Mint State 66 of the same date. It's a little bit more lustrous. As you could look in the fields over here, you don't see too much luster break or disruption. It's pretty gosh darn clean. Same on the reverse. We don't have a lot of the obligatory nicks and scratches underneath the memorial right here. Pretty clean. What keeps it from a higher grade is the amount of contact marks on Lincoln and on the memorial. Kind of hard to show unless I had a super close up, and that's just not going to happen for the course of this video. So primarily we're going to be looking for one where Lincoln and the memorial features of the coin are going to be virtually spotless. Now 68 has a lot of nice strikes, and we're probably in this video going to go through 2 rolls. As you can see, I have the rolls right here. They have the tape around them. From what I understand, these rolls were put together in Oklahoma. Actually, the dealer is from Oklahoma. He actually still has a home out there. And these were pulled from a bank in Oklahoma back in the 60s, right when they first came out. So these are about as fresh as you could get. They've been in these tubes for a while. I think he had them in other tubes, transferred them over. Hopefully in the course of the transition from one tube to another that, you know, he was kept pretty careful. But nonetheless, that's kind of an origin of where the coins came from. As you can see, I'm using cotton gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and put this other one on before we get started. So as I crack these rolls, you'll see exactly. So here's one that I took the tape off of already. And let's see. There you go. They look pretty good. And as you can see, I have the towel out here. And the way that we'll set this is we're going to take a few coins out at a time. So I have 2 coins here. And I'm going to go through the rest of the rolls and I'll do a recap video. The thing about cotton gloves is I have chunky, you know, sausage fingers. So it's not going to be the easiest thing to work around here. But as you can see in this coin, it looks pretty good. It has some marks on the right field over there in that clear area right above the date. And you have a lot of the marks at the truncation of the bust right on Lincoln's shoulder on his jacket. And this would be a coin that would be somewhere in the 64, 65 area. Therefore, would not qualify. Without even spinning the coin around to see the reverse. Okay, there's the reverse. Okay, see all the marks underneath Lincoln Memorial. Yeah, most of which is die scratches, which are pretty attractive. You know, they give the coin a nice, excuse me, I need to tighten up these gloves, man. Yeah, wearing cotton gloves, not my favorite. If I could do this barehanded, I would. Sometimes I do. But for the course of the video, I want to show that I care. And the reason why I have the towel out is for cases like that where I do drop the coin, then you're not going to mess it up. And again, you'll use a towel that's nice and soft. A terry cloth works just as fine, terry towel. So this one, you see that scratch going across Lincoln's jacket right there? Okay, that'll keep this one out. In fact, it's not even worth the trouble. But the coins, boy, they look pretty good. 68S. The whole reason why that there is a price guide quote of $7,400 for a 68 is pretty much there's a lot of 67s out there, I would imagine. But anyways, I'm going to go through, let's see, let's pull out more. And the more careful you are, the better, the less contact. that we have, the better. Let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and take one glove off. That way I could keep the coin like so. There you go. See the scratches on the right field there? All it takes is a little bit of, there you go. This would be better there. So you can see, as I swirl the coin, just trying to get the, there we go. As I swirl the coin like so, you can see the scratch right there. Again, the fields have to be absolutely clean for it to mean anything. So there you go. So if you could see that sort of thing with the naked eye, definitely not one for consideration when you're setting out to grading. Oh boy, look at this one. See right there at Lincoln's chin? There's even a little dent in his chin. This one definitely will not qualify for grading. This one will probably be like a 64. A 68S and a 64 is worth pennies. It's worth a few dollars. Not even worth the trouble of sending it in. The cool thing about the 68S is you have kind of a safety net. You find a really nice super high grade example, and let's say you send it into PCGS or NGC. Even if it grades out as 67, you're going to make some money on it. I think last time I checked, 68S's in a 67 were selling somewhere between $150 and $200 in spite of the PCGS price guide of $325. All right, see that big old nick right on his cheek right there? Again, you want an example without it. And there's a few carbon spots right above the date, right there, which would disqualify this coin for grading anything higher than 64. Here's another example. Again, spin the coin. You could see the little nicks as you spin it, and you have the light shining off the luster. Right above Liberty, there's this prominent little nick right there, and that would disqualify. That'll actually make this coin about 65, which it's not bad, but again, we're not in the business of finding 65s. All right, so as I go through the coins and just kind of show you one after another, submissions, again, go to PCGS's website or NGC. Please be aware that if you are going to send stuff to grading, you will have to pay the membership fee. Now, it's only worthwhile if you have a bunch of coins to send them over the course of a year's subscription. So please take that into consideration. Someone had mentioned, hey, I didn't know you had to pay anything. Of course you do. So you have to pay that, and you have to pay for the individual submissions. So I haven't seen a coin that's worth a salt. Right above the date, there's some nicks right there. Again, we're looking for clean fields on these coins. No errors as of yet. Of course, we've only been through 10 coins or so. But we'll go through a few more, and then I'll plug away at this. Going through 15 rolls is pretty much an afternoon's worth of work. I'll be sitting here for about 3 hours. But in any case, yeah. So what was I talking about? Yeah, so when you're going through these rolls, by the way, I actually end up obtaining for a screaming deal. And I got them for right around $2 a piece. The dealer was at her case at this antique mall, and I was actually able to kind of bundle a few things together, and she gave me a really great deal. This one doesn't look too bad, but there is some slight contact marks in front of Lincoln's nose right there, which would disqualify this coin from grading anything higher than a 65. All right, and then there's one pretty good nick right on Lincoln's shoulder right there. Sometimes if you rotate the coin as such, you'll even see other nicks and dings and whatnots on there, contact marks. But this is something that can definitely pay off dividends if you want to spend time searching through this. I know I go through dozens of BU rolls in a year's time. In fact, when I go to do my next submission, I'm going to showcase all the coins I'm sending out and the respective grades I hope to get for those particular coins. I have a bundle of them that I am going to be sending out here in the next few weeks. I haven't done a submission actually since the beginning of the year. So, yeah, I'd like to share that with you, and then I'll share the outcomes as they come in. Actually, I'll be able to see them on online through PCGS.com on my profile. But that is pretty much how you go about looking for these high grade coins. As you could see on my previous videos, I've talked and shared a bunch of insane huge sales, whether it's through eBay Heritage, Stacks Bowers, you name it. Yeah, you guys are wondering, hey, how can these common dated 1960s, 70s coins, 80s coins sell for so much money? And that's the reason. People are going through BU rolls. They're going through old collections of just rolls and mint sets in the hopes of finding something that's going to grade out super high uh, to um, to fulfill the registry collectors requirements, I guess, because it's big business out there. It's a huge collecting type this day and age. But I'm glad I was able to share this with you. I'm gonna go through all 15 of these rolls. I'm going to share my findings once it's all said and done. May not be today. It might take a day or two, just depending on time. But that's how you do it. So you guys keep searching, keep stacking, whatever it is you do in this fine hobby. That's all fine and dandy because it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun for me as a hobby. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. You guys have a good afternoon.